Here's 18 simple life hacks that you can incorporate in your life today, and I know they'll work for you because they've worked for me in my life. Let's get into it. Tip number one is going to be get along with everybody. When you go into your workplace or you go into a school setting, you're going to meet a whole bunch of different people, especially in your work life and when you're going after your career or business. If you can really learn to get along with all types of different people, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to be friends with everybody, but if you can learn to get along and make things win-win, that will elevate your potential and how well you're going to do in your career, and you're really going to be able to accelerate your progress. The reason I know this is because I've made bad blood in the past with coworkers and ended up not having a job anymore and having to find a new job because that person was that influential. Learn from my mistake and get along with everybody. Tip number two is don't tell everybody your plans. Have a select group of people or one or two people that you tell your life goals and your plans to, but don't go telling a whole bunch of different people. And if you're not sure you're going to get positive feedback from that person, withhold that information and then go after your goals, go after the things that you want to go after, and don't let people discourage you. So try to keep it to yourself a little bit and let them find out what you're up to on their own. And then if they're encouraging, then that's good. You can share more with them. But don't make the mistake of telling too many people your goals and your plans because you don't need the negativity. And if they're scared to do something big in their own life, they might deter you from what you want to reach in your life. Number three is be careful. Life is dangerous. It's full of surprises. The first and foremost, the number one thing that you want to do is just take care of your safety and be careful. You want to take risks and calculated risks. You want to try lots of new things, and you can only be as safe and careful as possible. But the number one thing is stay alive and don't die. So be careful in life because it can be very dangerous. Number four is be prudent. So in your schoolwork or your studies and your workplace, your career, whatever it is that you're trying to achieve, the people that succeed the most in life are very prudent about their work. They double and triple check their work. They're going back on things, they're looking through things, and they're making sure that when they say they have a finished product, it's as good as they can produce. There might be some things wrong with it potentially, and you don't know what those things are going to be if you don't have the experience, but continue to double and triple check your work so that whatever you're putting forward, hopefully it's all correct. And as you get better at your craft, it will be 100% correct if you go back and double and triple check eventually. So be prudent in your work. Number five is work hard and work smart. So when we talk about working hard, we're talking about you're learning something new, you're progressing, and you're learning all the skills. You need to work really hard to acquire all the skills that you need. But then switching into working smart means you're not going to burn yourself out because you're working really, really, really hard for an extended period of time. And you really need to gauge where you're at in the hard work, gaining skill versus working smart. So you can dial it back a little bit, not too much, a little bit enough so you can catch your breath and you can sustain that hard, smart work for long term. Because if you're working really, really, really hard, it's unsustainable. You're going to burn out, you're going to crash hard, and then you're going to go from super productive to zero. So rather than that, go to super productive, dial it back a little bit so it's smart and it's consistent and you can do it indefinitely. And that segues into number six is prioritize rest and recovery. You need to rest, you need to recover. That is a big thing as opposed to work hard and go after what you're going after, hit the gym, burn your body down, burn the candle at both ends. What you want to do is do a little bit of that, but also learn how to prioritize rest and recovery because you're going to be able to produce more if you're rested and you're going to get less sick way less often. If you get proper sleep, if you get proper nutrition, realistically, you shouldn't have to really get sick very often at all, if ever. And if you can feel something coming on, you can feel like you're coming down with something, you can go and sleep and go have a nap, go rest, go recover, and let your body repair and recharge. and then go back out and crush it. So learn how to have that body awareness and go inside your body. How are you feeling? Are you really tired? Okay, listen to that. Go and have a sleep. Go and have a nap. Try not to push yourself too hard. Learn those signs that your body are giving you when you need that rest and recovery. Number 7 is try a lot of different things, especially when you're younger, you're in your 20s, maybe early 30s. You want to try a whole bunch of different things. Try not to get caught in one thing because you're just making money. Make sure that you have a long-term vision for whatever it is you're going to do. If you want to make $100,000, $150,000, $200,000 a year, or if you want to build a business and work for yourself, make sure you don't get stuck in that 80 to 100K job a year that you don't like and you're not working towards what you actually think you might want to do. So don't let the money cloud your vision. Don't get into debt. Don't buy that fancy car where you need to keep that job to sustain the payment or the house or whatever it is. Make sure that you're going to like what you're doing. Try a whole bunch of different things and make sure that's going to be sustainable long term before you get yourself into a lot of debt or things that you need to pay for. Number 8 is learn to say no and yes. So when it comes to saying no, you need to really recognize the things in life and the people in life that you need to say no to, because some is just a huge waste of time. And you can not necessarily have to cut that friendship off per se, and you can still be friends and see them from time to time. But a hard thing in life is saying no to the things that you know deep down you don't want to do. But the biggest thing is saying yes as well, because you need to figure out what you don't like. So if you say yes to a whole bunch of different things, you know what to say no to next time. Number 9 is learn to forgive quickly and also learn how to be indifferent. So somebody did you wrong in the past, your parents got divorced, your friend screwed you over, your significant other that you trusted dumped you and left you. You need to learn how to get over things quickly and be indifferent. People do bad things doesn't necessarily mean they're a bad person. We've all done things that we regret and wish we didn't do. Doesn't mean you're a bad person. So learn that you can just be indifferent. For me, for example, my parents got divorced when I was 5. You do hold grudges and stuff like that as a 20-year-old, and you get into your 30s, you kind of realize that they're just people as well. They make mistakes, and I'm indifferent. Do I forgive them and forget? Not necessarily, but I'm definitely indifferent. I'm not sad about it or happy about it. It is what it is. So you need to find what that thing is for you, where you just need to let it go and forgive and forget or be indifferent. Number 10 is look forwards instead of backwards. Yes, it's important to look back and learn on your mistakes and your failures so that you can succeed next time, but looking forward is the main thing. The things that are to come in your life, especially if you're in your 20s, maybe early 30s, are far better, hopefully, because you're doing the right things, than the past was. You can move forward and just keep leveling up and keep winning, especially as a man. If you're doing the right things, you're going out and putting yourself out there, you're building up your finances, you're taking care of yourself, you're hitting the gym, you're keeping well manicured, you're doing all the things to put your best foot forward, your life's only going to get better. One big thing for me that helped me in my life was starting to approach women and go to the gym more, use that as kind of a social atmosphere. And when you approach new people and say hello and learn how to start a conversation with a complete stranger that you might be interested in becoming friends with or more, whether guy or girl, it's going to open a lot of doors for you. It's going to open up your mental capacity as well, and it's going to help you grow as an individual. And I think that's one thing a lot of guys are missing these days is they're going after a career, they're working on their fitness, and they're getting told to do these things, and the girl will just kind of appear. Well, you need to more so put yourself out there, especially if you're just like an average guy. You can put your best foot forward, but you can be at the cause and actually gain that girl yourself by approaching a whole bunch of different people, being vulnerable, putting yourself out there, and learning the skills that you need to gain those people in your life that you want. So look forward in your life and just know that the things to come are better than the things that you're leaving behind. Number 11 is slow down and breathe. Realize that a lot of anxiety and a lot of fear and emotions and anger come from your diaphragmatic breathing come from your diaphragmatic breathing deep into your belly. And what you want to do from time to time is just take those big deep breaths and really feel that breath going all the way down deep into your stomach so that you can relax that tense anxiety or fear or anger from your stomach. So learn to breathe deep and just take a couple deep breaths every now and again. Number 12 is limit screen time. You want to limit short form content. Long form content, in my opinion, is fine. I've learned a lot on YouTube. I've learned a lot from different mentors watching a lot of long form content. But I think short form content really burns down your attention span, and it's not going to do a ton for you. So I think forcing yourself back into longer form content is very important, just to extend your attention span and make sure that it's going to translate into anything else that you want to be successful in your life. If you need to study for an exam, if you need to better a skill, you need a long attention span to stick with something long term. So limit your screen time when it comes to short videos. Number 13 is audit your addictions and your coping mechanisms. So when you're going through your life, you're going to pick up different things that you use to cope with certain situations. We all do it. We use drugs, we use alcohol, we smoke weed, we hopefully don't burn ourselves down with working out extremely hard like I've done in the past, thinking that's going to solve it. So you need to kind of audit, and as you progress in life, monitor what your coping mechanisms are and what your addictions are. What do you need to dial back on a little bit so you can excel in better parts of your life, become healthier, become more fit and active? You can also take it too far with that, being too active, getting burnt out, not getting enough rest and relaxation and recovery. You're going to burn yourself down doing those things as well. So you just need to be aware of what your coping mechanisms and addictions have become and what you need to do in your life to get those to a minimum. Number 14 is choose the people that choose you. You can be chasing that girl, you can be texting those people all the time, trying to get into that friend group. Whatever the case is, make sure that you're choosing people that choose you back, hit you back when you text, want to meet up, you aren't the first one that's always reaching out. You aren't the first one that's always reaching out. They're reaching out to you as well. They want to be friends with you, or they want to get to know you more. So be at the cause of your life in that regard too, and try not to just be at the effect of everything, and go after the people that you want to go after and have a relationship with or be friends with. Learn those skills that you need to learn to be a social person. But really realize that once you do make that friend, if they're not reaching out a ton, maybe you need to find some new friends. If they're not reaching out a ton and you're putting in a lot of effort, you feel drained from the friendship, maybe just dial it back a little bit and see if they start reaching out a little bit again. And if they don't, then it is what it is. It's not that you're not friends anymore, you just don't hang out as much as you used to, and it's time to find some new people to add into your life maybe. Number 15 is always be increasing your speaking skills. So whether it's on a camera or it's in front of a group of people, maybe it's a work project or a school project, you have the opportunity to go up in front of the class and speak or present, be in a leadership role, and take those on as much as you can. Learn to speak in front of a crowd, learn to be articulate, and maybe have to slow down with your words sometimes, or learn to speed up and talk a little bit faster and be as clear as possible. So the more you talk to a camera, or the more you go on stage or go in front of a group of people, maybe in a work setting, in a leadership position that you've worked up to, or you can do it in front of a classroom. You could even take courses to do it and practice it more. So make sure that you're always evolving your speaking skills and being articulate as possible. Number 16 is learn to really listen. When somebody's talking, listen to what they say and then respond. Don't be the type of person, or try not to be the type of person, that's just waiting for your next opportunity to say what you were going to say anyway. Listen to what they're saying. Get involved in the conversation by asking a lot of questions. And when you do actively listen to what they're saying, it's easy to talk and talk because you've listened to what they say and you will reply appropriately. Maybe you add a couple questions onto it, and then they're going to continue talking, and you're going to be the person that's interesting because you're just letting them talk and explain things about their life and their day. And then when they do reciprocate, hopefully they do. And that's also a sign of social intelligence. If someone does reciprocate, if you're asking them a whole bunch of things about their life and what they're up to, how their weekend was, if they don't reciprocate and kind of ask you, they're not as socially aware. So that's a good tip as well. Be socially aware. If you find yourself talking about yourself all the time and just going on about your weekend because somebody asked you about it, make sure that you reciprocate and ask them how they're doing and how their weekend was. But it all comes down to active listening and making sure that you're listening to what they say and then just reply to what they've said rather than waiting for your next opportunity to talk and give your opinion. Number 17 is do your best in avoiding physical confrontation. Walk away from fights, guys, especially young guys. They get into fights, and I've known friends, two actually, both ended up in the hospital, and they're okay now, but one guy had some head injuries, and I'm pretty sure it deterred him or he wasn't allowed to play hockey anymore. I'm not exactly sure about the whole story. So the bottom line is, guys, avoid fights. If you want to get into fighting, join boxing, do jiu-jitsu, do Muay Thai. I've done things like that in the past and it's really been fun, but I'm not a big fighter. I've avoided fights and it's served me well at 38. You never know what's gonna happen in a fight. So 99% of the time, just walk away. It's not worth it. If someone puts hands on you, make sure that you can defend yourself, obviously, but rarely that ever happens rarely does that ever happen unless you put yourself in a precarious situation. So just avoid things, guys. Go with your gut and make sure if something doesn't feel right, you just leave that situation. And number 18, guys, is use good manners. Be polite. Say thank you. Say you're welcome. Say excuse me when you need to get by somebody. Just use your manners in general. And it's going to take you a lot farther than you would think. It's kind of like not a big deal these days, I find, with people. They're not as polite or formal as they used to be, maybe. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Put it in the comments below if you think I'm off on that. But it goes a long way when you say thank you, when you say please, when you say sorry if you've messed up. And you're welcome and thank you are the two big ones because you're using the word you. And people want to hear either their name or the word you. And it makes them feel included and increases that familiarity and that personal connection with somebody so they can trust you. So build that trust, use good manners, and have good character in general. So that's 18 key things that I've learned over the years. I'm sure there's a lot more, guys, but if you stuck around to the end of this video, comment on which one resonates the most with you that you either need to work on or you'd like to incorporate in your life. And check this video out right here for a lot more good content.